number 2 as Matt Ward takes the over top of the circle. Giorentes the inbound feed to Jake Brown, and it's tipped away to the right side of the blue line. 38 seconds now for the Corvairs to connect on the first power play. Giorentes a shot out of the net.
Caledonia penalty number 89, Lepore, 2 minutes for holding. To Caledonia's number 21, Eric De Laurentiis, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time for penalties, 11:39. Caledonia's Lepore, 2 for holding, and De Laurentiis, 2 for cross-checking, and 11:39. Partner Parks is the official puck sponsor of your Avalanche.
Marcellus Subban and Stephen Jaquila with the first 2 Elmira goals this afternoon in that 6-3 victory. Nagy in the draw flips a backhand below the end line. And the Caledonia defense puts it in to Brown with Donato Cipriano on him. Brown still fighting for it. To get out of his feet. Just one goal in this first period, and so far,
number 3, Riley Van Horn, 2 minutes for roughing. To Ancaster's number 14, Max Allenson, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of the penalties, 15:58. Caledonia's Van Horn, Ancaster's Allenson, 2 minutes each for roughing at 15:58. Fans stop by the 50/50 table in the lobby to pick up your tickets for tonight's draw. Support your hometown team. Have a chance to win some cash. 50/50 tickets are available from the lobby. Last minute of play in the first period.
Tries a short pass. Dixie dealing between both men back from Caledonia. Finally slides a pass around Kyle Tanev. And the buzzer goes. The end of the first period of play of game number 2.
Shots on goal after the first period. Ancaster 11, Caledonia 16.
Caledonia with
On the out-of-town scoreboard in the GOJHL, Sarnia leads LaSalle 2-1 in the second period. LaSalle leads that playoff series 1-9. London leads Leamington 1-0 in the first period. London leads that series 1-0. On the out-of-town scoreboard in the NHL, the Montreal Canadiens and the New York Islanders are scoreless in the first intermission. Vancouver leads Toronto 1.
With the 16-11 shots on goal advantage through one period. Tyler Lepore with the only goal at 5:56 on the power play. Caledonia with the advantage last night as well. 9-21 in the 2-1 victory. Clock with the only goal last night for Ancaster at the 53-second mark. He had a goal in the first period tonight along the ice, beat Entma to the left corner, but the goal disallowed. Patton responding for Caledonia last night at the 14:40 mark of period number 2 to tie the game. And Eric De Laurentiis with the game winner at 7:43 of the third period. Caledonia taking a 1-0 series lead last night at the HCCC. We're here at game number 2, Morgan Firestone Arena. Second period about ready to start as De Laurentiis and Hughes take the draw. De Laurentiis wins it, slides it back to Abraham. Abraham for Forsland on the other side. Captain Abraham a scratch in last night's game. Burnett plays it around the boards. McLennan misses the pass trying to bat it out of the air, and Matt Hoare keeps it in deep for Caledonia. Hoare assisting on the Lepore goal in period number 1. Entma out to play it. Zachariah maneuvers himself around him. Lepore the pass ahead to center, too far ahead of De Laurentiis. De Laurentiis goes in after it anyway, and offside as McLennan meets him at the top of the blue line. Face-off outside the line on the out-of-town scoreboard. London once again with a 1-0 lead. The number 7 seed surprising the number 1 seeded Leamington Flyers. London knocking off the Chatham Maroons in series number 1. Patton to Blunt. Blunt winds up, and he fires a shot off the outside of the right pad of Blake. Blake very sharp so far in this series, despite the 1-0 deficit for the Avalanche. Making 37 saves last night. 15 of 16 saves again tonight in the first period. Balanson checks his man off the wall. Nagy comes off his hit by Bramwell and brings it down the left wing. Zupan behind him. Slides past the hit of Ryan Blunt. Nagy back to Police. Police backhands it down the far half wall. Picks it up again. The shot. Zupan tries to catch a piece of it, but he was tied up by Todd Ratchford. Beside the circle, Blunt tries to move it ahead, still stuck in the Caledonia zone as Ryan Nill plays it off the backboard. Zupan around the board, balancing from the left, and it's picked off by Ratchford, and he fires a high clear out off the near side glass. Zupan coughs it up. Here's Ratchford. Gomes back at him. Ratchford streaking right down in between the hash marks and taking the shot. And Richard wisely knocking it away. Gomes the high shoot in, and it's out of play beyond the Caledonia bench. So the London Nationals looking to take a 2-0 series lead in the West over the Leamington Flyers. And the Sarnia Legionnaires with a 3-1 lead over the LaSalle Vipers. Sarnia trying to rebound off their 5-4 loss to LaSalle. That game back on Thursday night. LaSalle squeaking by with a 5-4 victory. Just the 4 games in the GOJHL tonight. Moran from the blue line loses possession. Burnell down the far wall, and he fires a shot from outside. And Entma with a stop on his chest protector. And he leans forward and smothers the puck. 2 players down at the side of the net, one for either side, where Entma made the save. Faliro for the Avalanche and Gomes for Caledonia. 16:50 remaining period number 2. A tight one reminiscent to last night, the 2-1 victory. Tonight, just the 1 goal. 5:56 mark of the first as Sinclair wins the draw. Cox underneath him. Burnell to the net as well. Forsland down to his, sits down on the play to try to block the shot, and a face-off from the same spot. Ryan Cox to take the draw. Sinclair wins it once again, wraps it around the board for Fontana. Fontana digs it off the half board for Riley Van Horn, and Van Horn winds up and fires one off the bottom of the glass in behind the Ancaster net. Burnett, top of the blue line, loose puck. Fontana angled just out to the right of the hash marks, looking for a shot. And Ancaster now regrouping in their own zone. Burnett gave it back to McLennan. Ryan Cox to center. He chips it in with 3 men back for Caledonia. Hayden Guittard to the far corner as well. Burnett winds up. It's knocked down by Sinclair. It results on a 3-on-2. Van Horn to the net. Shot by Sinclair. The rebound. And Sinclair goes into the far corner to go get it. Blunt at the blue line. Plays a backhander back to center. Fontana tripped up by Guittard, but no play on the Guittard hit on Fontana. Fontana tripped up from in behind. No call on Guittard as a shot along the ice. Enma covering up to make the save. We'll take a break. You're watching Game 2 of the Golden Horseshoe Conference Semi-Final on YouTube. Hughes in the draw. He wins it back to the top of the blue line. Drew it back to Ballinson, who was unable to keep it onside. Lepore, the pass ahead, broken up by Ballinson. But it hops in a backward motion. The force of the pass, even though it hit Ballinson's stick, it went all the way to the far corner, caught just the top of Ballinson's blade, and a whistle stoppage in play with 15:04 remaining in the period. Caledonia on a roll, 5-0 in the playoffs. 16-0-1 in the regular season prior to that. Their last loss way back in 2014, 3-2 to the St. Catharines Falcons. 5 days before Christmas. Ratchford out to the neutral zone. Lepore winds up, fires the shot around Treemstra, the defender. Picked off the half wall by Matt Hoare. And Treemstra and Lepore tie up as the whistle goes. A stoppage in play, face off in the Ancaster zone. Game 3 tomorrow night at the HCCC. Game 4 Tuesday, March the 17th, this coming Tuesday. 7:30 p.m. back here at the Morgan Firestone Arena. Game number 5, if necessary, Thursday, March the 19th, 8 p.m. at the HCCC. That's the only 8 p.m. start time in the series, as it's played up and off the glass by Patton, and he's sent flying on a body check by Luke Zupan. McEnany, Zupan chasing after it as he knocked the initial pass away from McEnany. Bramwell into the far corner. Jake Brown with it now, plays it back to the far corner once again. McEnany at his own blue line, ahead for Patton. McLennan in behind his own net. The drop pass for Burnett. Ancaster 4-0 in the playoffs up until last night. Now 4-1. The 4-game sweep of the Niagara Falls Canucks. The final game, a 6-4 victory for Ancaster. All the other games, 1-goal games. Expected a little bit more out of the Niagara Falls Canucks in that series. Austin Wright, a mainstay for that team in the regular season. Wright often up in the top 10 in scoring. At one point was in the lead. Police the shot down low. Entma the save. Caledonia with the 4-game sweep over the Pelham Panthers. The biggest deficit, the 18-0 win for Caledonia back in game number 3, setting the league record. And the 12-1 victory to end the series in game number 4. This game brought to you by real estate sales representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give him a call at 519-755-7409 as Blunt plays it to the left side. In for Bramwell underneath the hash marks. Ratchford heading towards the net. Or email Roland at Remax Land Exchange at roland@rolandarcher.ca. You can visit them online at remaxlandexchange.ca. Ratchford to the net. Brown looking around Treemstra, plays it back to the top of the blue line. And Treemstra tips it to the far corner and out of play. 1:25 remaining on the penalty to Cole Nagy. Face-off from the left circle, Ancaster zone. De Laurentiis opposite Hughes. De Laurentiis off the draw, the second chance to do something with the disc. He played it from the half wall back to Ratchford. De Laurentiis on the other side this time to Hoare, back to Ratchford, and Ratchford fires a shot high and up over top the Ancaster net. Hoare to the left. Blunt to the left wing wall. The shot, and they score! Caledonia doubles up their lead. The Matt Hoare goal. The feed from the top of the blue line left side found Hoare inside the left circle. Hoare with a quick snapshot to the near corner. Blake Richard with no chance. And Hoare with his second point with 11:39 remaining in the period. Burnett to McLennan. So the Avalanche win the draw, but not before Matt Hoare registers his second point. Purdy tips it in down the far wall, goes after his own pass, meets McLennan in the corner. McLennan hits him. Lepore getting his second assist or second point of the evening as well. The second power play goal for the Corvairs. Tanev beside the right circle, Burnett on him. Tanev loses possession. Burnell brings it back to center. Meets up with Justin Abraham. And a whistle, 45 seconds to the midway point of the period. Matt Hoare now with 11 goals and 8 assists, 19 points. I believe now 4 ahead of Christian Ruskowski. Ruskowski with 2 points in this afternoon's loss to Elmira. Six games in the GOJHL tomorrow in playoff action as Moran shot from the right, Richard gloving it down. London and Leamington play game 3 tomorrow at 4:10. Stratford and Kitchener, a 7 p.m. game at Kinsman Arena. Another surprise in that one. Stratford with the 7-5 victory last night to take a 2-0 series lead. De Laurentiis, the shot from the top of the right circle. And glove down by Richard, his second consecutive glove save. Waterloo and Elmira, 7 o'clock game at Dan Snyder Memorial. Elmira, the 2-0 series lead, winning this afternoon. St. Catharines and Welland in Welland tomorrow night. Welland Arena, 7:10 start time. St. Catharines winning 3-2 last night. Jake Evans with the game-winning goal for St. Catharines. LaSalle and Sarnia, a 7:10 game. And of course our game, the ARC Pro presentation of game number 4 of the GOJHL semi-final from the Golden Horseshoe Conference. A reminder to check the GOJHL website, www.gojhl.ca. There you'll find all your scores and statistics, tripping over my wording with 10:07 remaining second period. 1 goal per period. Tyler Lepore at the 5:56 mark on the power play. And Matt Hoare, the second power play goal of the night. 9:21 assists to Blunt and Lepore. Blunt had an assist from relatively the same spot last night, assisting on the Connor Patton goal in period number 2 last night at the 14:40 mark. Lushcombe in the draw opposite Connor Patton. Lushcombe wins it back to the left for Lucas Treemstra. And it's picked off by Patton, played back to center. Losing possession is Bramwell, lost possession. And then Treemstra played it in from the left wing, right on top of center as the whistle went. Face off from the left circle. Entma looking on, positioned off to his right-hand side to cut the angle on the draw. Caledonia wins it. Blunt plays it around the board, back to center in behind the back of Fontana. McLennan dips it off the far back wall. Burnett picks it up for the Avalanche, and the Avalanche here having trouble leaving their own zone. McLennan whips a backhand pass to the other side for Burnett, and Ratchford, he tries a back pass, and it goes out of play at the end of the Caledonia bench. Face off in the neutral zone, Hughes and Sinclair. Clack on the left wing as Ancaster wins the draw. Zachariah on the other side, and Ratchford throws a long pass in. And now pushing and shoving between Fontana, Sinclair, Hughes, and Adam Burnett. Cooler heads prevail as they take the face-off from the same spot. Caledonia with the 16-11 shots on goal advantage through one period. Picked up by Burnett off the one draw to Zachariah. Hughes fires a back pass to Clack, and Clack's shot along the ice picked off by Ratchford. Zachariah winds up, and his shot hits the back wall on the near side. Ratchford immediately turned the puck over to Zachariah, and Zachariah, trying to make the most of the opportunity, fired hard off the back wall. Lushcombe in the draw. He wins it with a straight ahead poke. Abraham plays it back to the other side of the Avalanche line. Bramwell in the corner. From the beside the right circle, excuse me. McLennan ties a man up in behind his own net. Back to the play was Jake Brown. He shakes it off and plays it to Connor Patton back underneath the end line. Burnett on his man. A aggressive check with Bramwell's back to the wall. And Burnett digs it free, plays it to the other side for Zupan. Lushcombe from the right to Police. Police's shot. And Police's shot going just wide. Played out from the corner. Lushcombe back in the corner. It's picked up and poked away by Patton as the whistle goes. A delayed call as Blake Richard went to the bench. 7:42 remaining second period of play. And it looks now like the Avalanche will head to the power play. A full 2 minutes showing to Connor Patton. Ben Hughes on the draw. It squirts out to the right wing side. Tanev played a back pass, and McEnany took the disc and fired at the length of the ice the rest of the way. Hughes over the line. All four men back for Caledonia. Moran, Purdy, Tanev, and McEnany. Clock to the corner. Treemstra to the far side. The wind up by Ballinson. And it's knocked down by Purdy and picked up and cleared by Moran. .47 seconds gone on the Ancaster power play. Caledonia at a perfect 100% through one round and two games. Well, 1 round, 1 game, and half a game. Hughes right circle. Faliro on the left wing. Chris Clack on the right. Burnett and Ballinson on the defense. And in the draw for Caledonia is Sinclair. Ancaster wins it. Burnett has a look, slides it to the end line, back to Burnett, and Entma able to make the save in the logo. Ancaster starting to apply some indirect pressure, but the Corvairs with the better scoring chances in this game. Blake Richards been big at times with the left glove hand in this series. Burnett to balance in the shot, and it deflects into the far corner, picked up by Luke Sinclair. Played by Hughes, back to the right, over to Burnett, in past the end line. Burnett top of the line, and Balanson winds up and fires, and it's wide of the net and off the glass. Burnett fakes a shot, moves in closer, found himself underneath the left circle before he had time to make a shot, and the Corvairs change up their penalty killers on the clear out. Balance into the far side. Turning around in the corner is Faliro. He shakes off a check, and now he's got some free space on the opposite corner. Burnett, the shot, deflected out the side by Entma. In behind the net, centering pass, balancing off the blue line. That's the second time on this power play Balanson has moved off the blue line. The first time on the first shot, he took 2 steps off the right side. That time the long pass from in behind the net, and he moved to the top of the 2 circles in prime scoring territory and fired a shot just wide. Treemstra back for Ancaster. Hoare turns around as he's unable to apply much of a forecheck. Turnover here, Laporta, De Laurentiis, and Richard caught out of position. Laporte forced a turnover in the near corner, trying to find De Laurentiis. The Corvairs back to full strength. 5 minutes remaining in the period. Slight drag by Laporte. And Richard covering up top of the crease along the ice. Game 3 to be played tomorrow night. We're going to take a break here as both teams change lines. You're watching the GOJHL semi-final from the Golden Horseshoe Conference on YouTube. Patton wins the draw, plays it to the far corner. Nil picked it off for the Avalanche. Running over his man was the number 18 forward Guitard. Ran over Todd Ratchford at the far side of the blue line. Ratchford able to get up. He had it now. Cross ice pass to Patton. Richard out to play it. Whips it around the board. Cox plays it ahead. And Blunt plays it from the midsection back to the Ancaster blue line. Cox immediately back the other way for Ancaster. Plays it in behind the line for Owen Burnell. Burnell to Guitard. Guitard missing the pass, so he goes off on a change. Balancing inside his own line. Backs up as Connor Patton now on him and fires a hard pass out the far side. 3-on-1 developing. Clack and Zachariah to the net. Ben Hughes down the right wing. Now end-to-end as Hoare takes the shot. 2-on-2 back the other way for the Avalanche. So things really beginning to open up with 3:33 remaining in the period. Clack's side of the net for Zachariah. And Patton picks it up and clears for the Corvairs. Burnett from the neutral zone, trying to split the defense and fires a shot off the back wall. Clock to the net, and Entma, another terrific save. Clock's been about the best player for the Avalanche through the first game and a half of this series. Ben Hughes, the leading point getter for the Ancaster team. 6 goals and 4 assists coming into tonight. Nothing on the scoreboard for the Avalanche here in game number 2 as of yet. Burnett plays it to the other side for Triemstra. 1 man up for Caledonia, that's Van Horn. Van Horn laid a hard hit in the first period. Eventually ended up going off for kneeing for the hit on Owen Burnell. A fallen Ancaster player, Triemstra, and he gives Van Horn a shot. A retaliation by Triemstra. Triemstra and Van Horn having words, and we'll see if Triemstra gets a retaliation penalty. Van Horn drew one for knocking Triemstra to the ice right in front of Richard. And Triemstra off to the bench, so no call on the slight retaliation. Hughes in the draw, wins it back to the left for Burnett. Balancing in behind the net. Drop for Burnett. Purdy up for Caledonia. Played out the right wing. Broken up. Here's a break for Purdy. The shot. Mitch Purdy's shot to the far side. Ancaster turns it over in the neutral zone. Purdy pounced on the loose puck. Skated down the near side hard. And fired to the outside. Tanev offside on the play. And Mike Bullard livid on the far side. The loose puck. Tanev ruled offside. Looked like he was in alone. .120 remaining in the penalty to Riley Van Horn. Lushcombe in the draw from the right circle. Entma positioned to cut the angle as Lushcombe wins a draw, slides it to the right. McLennan to the half wall for Lushcombe. Back to McLennan, across to Burnett. Burnett whips it around behind the Caledonia net for Zachariah. Burnett winds up the tip by Zachariah. Zachariah, the deflection along the ice, tipped just wide near corner. Burnett trying to move around Purdy. Purdy chopping at him. And Burnett fires a shot off the back end board. McLennan, the spin around by the Corvairs. Tanev able to clear briefly. McLennan plays to the other side for Lushcombe. Hughes, and Purdy takes his man out. Took Hughes out at the far half board. Cleared it in deep before going off on a change. Zachariah at center. His dump in. Blunt hammers it around the board. Triemstra back for the Avalanche. Plays it to the other side. Luke Sinclair up four checking for Caledonia. Lushcombe to the far side. And an icing as Blake Richard raises his right arm. 20.5 seconds to go in the period. Face off from the right circle. Matt Hoare with the only second period goal, 9:21 on the power play. Lepore assisting. Hoare snapped a snapshot from inside the left circle. Blunt plays it around the wall. Lepore with the first period power play goal at 5:56. Hoare in the second, 9:21. Here's the announcement here. 9-8, the shots on goal. Here's the out-of-town scoreboard. So London doubling their output of the first period, 2-0 after 2. Sarnia 4-1 in the Western semifinals. Shots on goal, 24-20 for Caledonia following 2 periods of play. And at the end of 2 periods with Caledonia in the 1-0 series lead, it's the Caledonia Corvairs 2 and the Ancaster Avalanche no score. Corvairs hit the ice first for the start of the third period. Matt Hoare with the second period goal on the power play at 9:21. 24-20 the shots on goal in favor of Caledonia following 2 periods. Ancaster out shooting the Corvairs 9-8 in the second. 16-11 the shots on goal in the first. On the out-of-town scoreboard, Sarnia on top of LaSalle looking to even up their series, 4-1 following 2 periods. Bobby King scoring for Sarnia at the 2:46 mark of the first. 4 different players with goals in that game for Sarnia, and the London Nationals, Trevor Dulong at 10:52 and Kyle Robinson with just a second left remaining in the second period. London Nationals with the 2-0 lead on the Leamington Flyers at the end of 2 periods of play at the Western Fair Arena. So London so far with the big upsets, the upset team of 2014-2015. I'll get a chance maybe Wednesday night to go see the Nationals. Was supposed to get in to see them in the first round against the Chatham Maroons. Stunned the Maroons in that series. Matt Hoare backhands it in. Nell beside the right circle in his own zone, plays a deep pass. Rochford with it now to Blunt. Up to Gomes. Game 3 tomorrow night at the HCCC, 7:30 p.m. Back here at the Morgan Firestone Arena Tuesday at 7:30 for game number 4. 4-on-3 developing here. Pass from Tanev over to Gomes. Gomes takes a heavy hit from Ballinson, so he gives it back to Tanev. Gomes on the backhand. Lushcombe gets enough of him to force the puck free to the corner. And Ballinson plays it back to center, where Ratchford chips it right back in off the glass. Nil falls down, forces it to the line, but not out. And Purdy able to bring it back and fire wide on the far side. Police Gomes tied up with Lushko. Police brings it back to center and fires a long pass out of play 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the third. Arc Pro HD will bring you all 7 games, if necessary, of the GOJHL Golden Horseshoe Conference Semi-Final. Game 5 going Thursday, March the 19th in Caledonia. 8 p.m. start. All the other start times 7:30 p.m. Faliro on the near wall, back to the left, looking for Nagy. And Moran breaks up the play, maneuvering around Faliro and whipping it out the far side board. Bramwell checked against the wall. Treemstra tries to complete the hit and dig at the puck at the same time. Patton underneath the Ancaster net. Played up to center for Owen Burnell. Faliro, the cross-ice feed, looking for Nagy in the high slot. And McEnany brings it back the other way with speed, the backhander. And it comes loose out the far corner. McEnany, Brown behind him, but it's Burnell that picks it up and fires a deep pass in behind the Caledonia blue line. Fontana with it now, back to the red line. Broken up by Clack. Hughes loses his stick. Or that was Sinclair that lost his stick. And kicked at the loose puck with his right skate to clear it into the Ancaster zone. Played in deep by McLennan, and a whistle with 16:05 remaining in regulation. Caledonia in the 2-0 lead. This game is brought to you by real estate sales representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give him a call at 519-755-7409 or email him at roland@rolandarcher.ca. You can visit him online at remaxlandexchange.ca as McLennan sends his man to the ice. Zachariah plays it ahead to Ben Hughes. Hughes hops around the check of Forsland. Picks it up at the end line. Ancaster now regrouping inside their own zone. Nil up to Zachariah, who tips it in. Hughes side of the net. Hughes tries to go under the sight of vision around Entma's right side. Tries to wrap it around tight to the net. And the net slightly off its mooring for a stoppage in play. 15:24 remaining in the third. Caledonia trying to go home for tomorrow night's Game 3 with a 2-0 series lead. Ancaster trying to get 2 quick ones, tie the game up. Ancaster would like to see this series tied back at 1 for tomorrow night. The Corvairs would prefer to see themselves continue the domination they had in the regular season. Caledonia winning all 7 regular season matchups. A couple of close games in there. A shootout victory by Caledonia back on Thanksgiving weekend. The 2-1 Caledonia victory back on their second last meeting of the year. Turnaround by Police, and it's shot out of play into the Ancaster bench. In that 2-1 victory back on the 22nd of December, 6 Corvairs each had a point. Mark Sinclair making 19 of 20 saves. Blake Richard making 37 of 39 saves in the loss. Alex Zachariah, the shot low by Blunt off the right side of the blue line. Purdy from the half wall. Plays it for Bramwell, or Gomes, excuse me. Gomes to the side of the net. Purdy turns around, being chased by Treemstra. Faliro to center. Over to Burnell. Blunt takes him out of the play with a big hit. And the puck poking away out at Entma. Two players from each side tied up. Faliro and Ratchford physical in behind the Caledonia net. And Blunt and Cole Nagy as well. Just along the end line out to Entma's right. Hughes to take the draw. Clock on the left wing. Moran up to Bramwell. He tips it through the neutral zone to the Ancaster side of center. Moran and Bramwell. Bramwell pokes it ahead. Burnett in behind his own net. Fires a back pass to McLennan. McLennan the long pass to Hughes. McEnany a attempted hip check on Hughes. Hughes able to fly around it. McLennan off the board. Moran back. He turns around. Cox to Hughes. The cross ice feed into the slot. And Burnett fires a backhander into the corner. Hughes for Cox. Two men tie him up. That's Forsland and Jake Brown. Forsland now back to the front of the net to Forsland to get rid of the two Ancaster forwards in front of the Caledonia net. Abraham brings it in back on side. .12:46 remaining. Time beginning to run down on the Ancaster Avalanche. We mentioned the two out-of-town scores. Elmira and Waterloo playing this afternoon. Elmira a 6-3 victory to take a 2-0 series lead. Shot by Abraham is wide. Hoare in between the two circles, unable to get a shot away. Zupan to Lushcombe, and Lushcombe, the high backhander, up over top the net and off the glass. Police the shot, using both Forsland and Lushcombe as screens. Police with a shot above the right circle. Hoare with Lepore on the left, balancing, tying him up. Lepore a slight bump from Ryan Nill. And now Police plays it to Ballinson on the far side. Ballinson crosses over. Skated the length of the ice to the near side from the neutral zone. Check out www.GOJHL.ca for all your up-to-date scores and statistics. There you'll find the London Leamington score and the Sarnia LaSalle scores. London with a 2-0 lead at last check, and Sarnia with a 4-1 lead on the LaSalle Vipers. Fontana centering pass. Hops underneath the stick of Sinclair. Van Horn back to the neutral zone. Sinclair backhands it to the top of the line. Cipriano plays it back for Treemstra. And the short pass back across to Cipriano. Faliro to the far board. The shot by Nill. And Blunt with a heavy hit to Nill as Nill got the shot away and didn't see Blunt coming. Van Horn to the far side wall. Sinclair plays it to Van Horn. Cross ice feed for Fontana. Fontana, a jerking motion around Cipriano. And his shot hit the outside of the post. Fontana used a shimmy in his upper body to trick the defender and got a shot away on the near corner that rang off the outside of the post. Shot into the netting and out of play. A reminder, Game 3 tomorrow night at the HCCC. You can see that live on the ARC Pro HD website. Also, all the Corvair games up on YouTube as well. Just type in Caledonia Corvairs at YouTube. In some instances, you can find packages of entire seasons of games. Or if you're looking for a specific home date, type in Corvairs and the date, and you'll find what you're looking for right there on YouTube. But again, tomorrow night's game, you can see it live on ARC Pro HD's website, or even better, come out and join us 7:30 game time at the HCCC. Blake slides it across for Adam Burnett. Brown, the lone man up for Caledonia. Burnett plays it to Police, to McLennan. McLennan, the deep shoot-in off the backboard. Zachariah plays it in behind the net. And a heavy shoulder by McEnany takes out Ben Hughes, I believe. I see the back of the number 7. Ben Hughes, yes, indeed. Up to his knees now. Hughes in a lot of pain. Hughes putting his mouth guard back in now, so it looks like he'll be okay. 6 games in the GOJHL tomorrow. London in Leamington, game number 3. Kitchener at home, following their 7-5 loss last night in Stratford. Kitchener looking to cut their series deficit back to 1. Waterloo and Elmira in Elmira. Elmira with the 2-0 series lead. A 4-2 victory for Elmira in game number 1. Game number 2, 6-3. That was this afternoon, the early game, the 1:30 start. Treemstra a step past the own side of his line. And Forsland clearing at the underneath the end line Ancaster zone. Balance and back pass for Treemstra. Checking from behind from McEnany. Have another look at that one on YouTube. Entma out to play it. He decides to go to the near wall. No other Corvairs on the near side. So Entma does the work himself. 1:03 remaining in the McEnany penalty. Clack over top the right circle. And a loose stick as the whistle goes. That's Todd Ratchford's. Clack out sliding to the ice at the top of the left circle. Looking for a scoring opportunity, trying to cut the Caledonia lead back to 1. St. Catharines and Welland playing tomorrow night at Welland Arena, game number 2. Ballinson chips it in. Ratchford wraps it around the board. Burnett back for Ancaster. Ballinson to the far side for Ben Hughes. Hughes to Clack. Back to Ballinson, top of the blue line. Clack in behind the end line. Hughes the shot. And he fires a hard shot off the left pad of Entma. Ballinson winds up. His shot hits something in front and deflected wide. Shot wide of the net. Clack, the pass from under the end line. Ballinson winds up and wires a shot off the underneath of the crossbar. Ballinson very close to cutting the deficit to 1. Sinclair winds up. Brown the turnaround shot. Or that was Tyler Lepore, excuse me. Lepore, the long pass. He can't handle it. The deep feed from Abraham. And an icing with 7 minutes to go in the third. At the next stoppage, we'll take our final break of the evening, barring overtime. Zupan tied up under the underline. Falls to the ice. De Laurentiis jamming away at it. Treemstra and incoming Cosimo Fontana stood up. And the shot off the glass. Fontana stood up at the left side of the blue line by the Ancaster defender. De Laurentiis plays it in behind the Caledonia net. Hoare ties up with a fallen Zupan. Zupan stomach first to the ice. Face-off comes outside the line at the near side dot. Nagy and Patton. Patton wins it to Ratchford. Ratchford brings it back to center and fires a long one-bounce pass out to the left of Richard. Face-off comes back inside the line on the Caledonia icing call. Nagy and Burnett winds up. Burnett, the shot to the bottom of the left pad of Entma. And it's picked up and cleared by Caledonia. Brown chasing it into the corner. Caledonia not happy with that icing call. There was a breakaway in the second period for the Corvairs. That one called offside. The Caledonia bench was livid. Moran tosses it in, glove down by Richard. Under 6 minutes to go, third period of play now. Six games in the GOJHL tomorrow. Brown on the left wing from the draw. The Corvairs win the draw. Patton threw it to the far corner before Nil played it back to the near side of the Caledonia blue line. Deep shoot in. Entma out to play it. Up the half wall for Bramwell. Burnell on him. Burnell and Faliro tie up with Bramwell. Bramwell able to maneuver in behind the sandwich. And Brown throwing by the right hand of Nil into the boards. Patton tossed into the boards by Burnett on the other side. So the physical play really starting to pick up as the Avalanche find themselves behind by 2 in the late goings of this one. Ben Hughes to take the draw, left circle. Treemstra to the right wing. Nill's going to go to the box. Caledonia to the power play. Ratchford to the far side. Ratchford gets it back. Top of the blue line for Blunt. Position in the left circle. Ratchford's shot blocked. He plays it to the far wall. Hughes blocked the Ratchford shot. And the inbound feed from De Laurentiis knocked down by Cipriano. De Laurentiis winds up. Hughes slides across. Laporte to De Laurentiis. De Laurentiis with Ratchford calling for it. Had his stick up at the left circle. The shot, Treemstra gets a piece of it. It comes back to Hughes at center ice. A fallen Caledonia player. That's Tyler Laporte. Ratchford over the blue line. Hoare on the left wing. Laporte calling for the pass. A speeding Laporte on the right wing calling for the Matt Hoare pass. Hopped over the top of his stick. Nagy the shot. Kicked aside by Entma. Laporte ties up with Burnett. Zupan playing it down the right wing wall. And a hard body check by Zupan on Riley Van Horn. And Van Horn very slow to get up. He looks hurt. But now he's skating off under his own power. Van Horn gives a open-handed slap to the side of the head with his right hand. Zupan to the box. We'll see if Van Horn gets a retaliation. He does indeed. 3:37 remaining in the game. We're going to take a break while they sort out penalties. You're watching game number 2 of the GOJHL Golden Horseshoe Conference semi-final on YouTube. Nothing showing on the board for Riley Van Horn, so the Corvairs up 2 men. Blunt shoots wide. Zupan serving 2, so I'm assuming just a misconduct to Van Horn. Here it is now. A misconduct. So 4 minutes for high sticking. The 2 minutes extra. Van Horn drew a 2-minute penalty, but due to the 4 minutes for high sticking on Zupan, the Corvairs come out of it on the power play. Under 3 to go. Time really becoming a factor for the Avalanche now, with just 2:40 remaining in the game, and they'll be shorthanded for another minute. So they'll be at even strength for just 1 minute and 37 seconds to end the game. Blunt to the left side of the blue line, a long pass. Jake Brown goes in after it, and Adam Burnett cuts him off. But a stoppage in play, the whistle goes with 2:18 remaining. Face-off coming deep all the way back inside the Caledonia zone. A reminder, check the GOJHL website, www.gojhl.ca. You'll find the London-Leamington final score, as well as the LaSalle-Sarnia score as well. Sarnia looking to tie the series up 4-1 at last check in the West. No scoring here in the third period. The only goals of the game, both on the power play. Tyler Lepore at 5:56 from Matt Hoare, and Hoare from Blunt and Lepore at 9:21 of the second on the power play. So Hoare now with 2 more points to add to his scoring lead. 19 points for Hoare in this, just his 6th game of the playoffs. Ratchford tries to cut a man off. Lushcombe to the net. Ratchford went to the left side, leaving Lushcombe wide open on the feed from Owen Burnell. Shot goes wide. The net now empty for Ancaster. Blake Richard on the bench for a 6th attacker. Sinclair ahead. Patton trying to stay on side. And the shot just an inch wide by Cosimo Fontana. Fontana close to putting this one to bed for good. Nagy down the left side, the high arcing pass, gloved down by Ballinson. Burnett to the neutral zone. To the far side, Nagy takes a right hand to the face, and now Abraham and Nagy go at it. Positioned right underneath the Caledonia bench. Don't get any punches in. Abraham and Nagy simply tie up in the upper body. 43.1 seconds to go in the game. And they'll both go to the dressing room for the remainder of the evening. Game 3 tomorrow night at the HCCC. We'll keep an eye on the Welland St. Catharines score for you as well. The other big matchup in the Golden Horseshoe Conference. A timeout being called here to discuss strategy. This one last opportunity to remind you this game is being brought to you by real estate sales representative Roland Archer of Remax Land Exchange. If you're in the market to buy or sell a property, give them a call at 519-755-7409 or email them at roland@rolandarcher.ca. You can visit them online at remaxlandexchange.ca. Face off in the neutral zone, won by the Corvairs. The backhanded attempt out by Forsland, and Police gets a shot out of it. Forsland got a very little piece of the attempted clear in, came right to Police, and Entma sharp to make the save. Entma allowing just 1 goal last night. Ancaster yet to hit the score sheet here tonight. Hughes with Clack on the right. It comes towards Clack, but it's played up and out by the Corvairs. Moran De Laurentiis on the break, and he easily slides it in the empty net. The Corvairs get goal number 3 with 26.4 seconds remaining in the game. Moran will draw an assist in there somewhere. Face-off coming back to center ice. De Laurentiis with his 5th goal of the playoffs. Balancing inside the line. Chipped ahead by Moran. Richard back in the net for the Avalanche. Tanev drawing the assist at 1933. Shot. The shot by Sinclair. And the buzzer goes. Kevin Entma gets the shutout. Entma lowering his .67 goals against average through the playoffs. Through his 4th game played, his 2nd of this series, as he receives congratulations and the shutout from his teammates. 3-0 Caledonia, your final score here tonight. Here's the final shots on goal. Caledonia with 32 final shots on goal and the 3-0 victory. Tyler Lepore, 5:56 of the first on the power play. Matt Hoare, 9:21 of the second, also on the power play. 2 power play goals for the Corvairs tonight. And De Laurentiis, the empty net goal at 19:33. I thought Moran would draw an assist in there somewhere from inside the blue line, his own blue line angled toward the near side. But Kyle Tanev, the only assist on the De Laurentiis goal at 19:33 of the 3rd period. For the Caledonia Corvairs Hockey Club, I'm John Molson. Please join us tomorrow night in Caledonia at the HCCC for game number 3 of the GOJHL semi-final. 7:30 p.m. at the HCCC. Once again, your final score tonight in Game 2. The Caledonia Corvairs win it by a final score of 3-0 and take a 2-0 Golden Horseshoe Conference semi-final lead. Good night from Morgan Firestone Arena in Ancaster. We'll see you tomorrow night from Caledonia, Ontario.